Imagine you are running a small cafe and want to track your daily expenses such as purchases of ingredients, utilities, and miscellaneous items. To manage this efficiently, you decide to create a simple web-based expense tracker using NodeRed. Here's how it works. Setting up the system. You start by creating a flow in NodeRed that includes various nodes to handle web requests, render HTML, and process data. This flow serves two main purposes: providing a user interface for entering expenses and handling the logic for adding and displaying these expenses. How the flow works serving the expense tracker. User interface HTTP input node. Listens for incoming HTTP. Get requests at the tracker endpoint. This is where users will access the expense tracker interface. Template node. Generates and serves an HTML page when the tracker endpoint is accessed. The HTML page includes a form for entering expenses, a table for displaying the expenses, and a section showing the total amount spent. HTTP response node sends the generated HTML page back to the user's browser. Adding new expenses, HTTP input node, listens for incoming HTTP. Get requests at the add expense endpoint. This is used for logging new expenses. JSON node parses the incoming data to ensure it is in JSON format, which is easy to handle programmatically. Function node processes the parsed data. This node simulates logging the expense. Example: it could save the data to a database in a real-world application. It then prepares a response indicating the expense was successfully logged. HTTP response node sends a response back to the client, confirming the expense was added successfully. Using the expense tracker access, the user interface open a web browser and navigate to HTTP URL tracker to access the expense tracker UI. You see a simple and clean interface where you can enter the name and amount of each expense. Adding an expense. You enter the name and amount of an expense, example, coffee beans and 25, and click Add Expense. This sends a request to the Add Expense endpoint with the expense details. Viewing and managing expenses. The expense is immediately added to the list displayed on the page, and the total amount is updated. If needed, you can delete an expense by clicking the Delete button next to it, which updates the total accordingly. This flow in NodeRed provides a seamless experience for tracking expenses in real time. By simply entering expense details into the form, you can keep an accurate and up-to-date record of your expenditures, making it easier to manage your small cafe's finances. For those interested in learning NodeRed from scratch, there are numerous resources and complete playlists available in the description that cover everything from basic concepts to advanced techniques.